is Joy News Prime.
This is Joy Prime here on Joy News on Multi-TV and on London-based ABN Television, which is available across Europe. Thank you for joining us. Coming up, Ghana Health Service warns the public to avoid consumption of palm oil over concerns about widespread adulteration of the edible oil with Sudan 4 industrial dye. Chairman of New Patriotic Party Council of Elders justifies decision to suspend party chairman Paul Afoko, explaining he showed gross disrespect to them, while the beleaguered party chair is vowing to fight the decision. Much anticipated power barge is expected to help address energy crisis, expected to leave Turkey en route to Ghana tomorrow. In the meantime, students at the country's tertiary institutions who are having to bear the brunt of the crisis say it is affecting academic work.
And in business with me, Abigail Adumakwenti, palm oil sales unaffected despite reports of cancer-causing agent and those sold on the market.
And Abigail will be here with those details. And residents of farming community near Somenya in the eastern region demand the immediate commissioning of a school completed 4 years ago. Over the next 2 hours, we'll also bring you sports, entertainment, as well as your social media comments. My name is Israel Ice. Stay tuned. Now, very first story, palm oil sellers in one of the big markets in Accra are challenging the Food and Drugs Authority to name and shame those who have allegedly been lacing the product with a dangerous Sudan 4 dye to enhance its color. They insist the only way to safeguard public health and protect palm oil consumers is to expose those who have been adulterating the product.
Adulterated or non-adulterated? That's a question many consumers of palm oil face when buying the product, especially since the Food and Drugs Authority issued an alert asking consumers to beware of chemically laced palm oil on the market. But it's almost impossible to tell the difference, even for the trained eye. Traders at the Malamata market contested the FDA's alert that adulterated palm oil was being sold on the market, saying the FDA must focus on the producers of palm oil and not retailers.
When
news like this breaks, it rather affects the sellers in the market. But the FDA should focus on those producing in the rural areas so they know what really goes on there.
The traders want the FDA to show them how to tell the difference between adulterated palm oil and non-adulterated ones, something the FDA says is not possible.
The FDA should bring rapid test kits to the market to show us which oil is adulterated, just like they do for salt.
When this issue started, and we're going to work with the police, I had a meeting personally with our laboratory head, and he told me that no, they don't have any reagents that you can go onto the market and test. So we just have to bring it, take sample, bring it to the lab, and they use a machine, a very delicate machine called HPLC, and that's what determines it. So you can't take it to the market.
The FDA purchased 5 bottles of palm oil from 10 markets in Accra and says tests showed all but one had Sudan 4 dye, an industrial chemical mainly used in coloring plastics. Based on that, the authority teamed up with the narcotics unit of the CID to effect some arrests.
So far, we've arrested about 22 women. They are the owners of the products in the truck. And some too, through the earlier investigation, they were able to identify some. The women claim that when the consumers want to buy, they demand that they want oil that is very red, and that's why they put the dye in it. They give the dye themselves to the manufacturer to put it in it for them. Some also claim they put it in the barrier, the empty barrier. So when it's going for filling, they're going to buy it, it's already under. So the manufacturers are not aware. Some also claim they have it with them. And when people come to buy it, they put it inside. So we have 3 different information now. But what is happening is the police is investigating.
But market queen of the Malamata market, Asafwanye Obede II, says the FDA should name and shame.
They should tell the Ghanaian the truth and stop what they are doing in the office there. We haven't seen them here. If so, then they should tell exactly market that they have gone to and then they saw that product. If not, so we have given them 1 week to come and tell the whole market, the whole Malata market that, in fact, you are not the people who have done it. So we are waiting for them. And we shall expel the person from the market, go on suspension, or we shall ban that person from selling the market here.
The FDA wants consumers to purchase palm oil only from trusted sources and beware of what is on any market.
In related development, the Food and Drugs Authority says it will embark on a nationwide exercise to clamp down on the activities of unscrupulous persons engaged in the sale of adulterated palm oil. This follows the arrest of some market women in Accra found to have adulterated their palm oil stocks with Sudan 4, a textile dye for sale to the public. The dye is said to make the oil look attractive to unsuspecting buyers. Head of the Food Safety Management Department at the FDA, Maria Johnson, says the dye contains carcinogens which are harmful to human health. She told Mama Viewusu Abuaji on the AM show that large quantities of the adulterated palm oil were confiscated from 10 major markets in Accra and Tema.
We actually got 50 samples from these 10 markets, 5 samples each. It was only Kaneshi market that we had 4 samples testing positive for Sudan 4 and only 1 testing negative. So apart from Kaneshi, all the markets, we had 100%. And when we put all that together, as in the 50 samples, we had 49 samples testing positive for Sudan 4.
So what are you saying to all of us who will be going out to the market
of the
today?
Oil in the 10 markets that we did the sampling from tested positive for Sudan 4.
So what should we do now?
It's
not
serious.
Buy, because that's what's on the market.
In the meantime, that is how sure you can be. The sad thing about it is that for now, we don't have a rapid testing kit, a rapid test kit. So we cannot be able to go to the markets and say, well, or, you know, we have it for the salt. For the salt, we could do it. You do it, and then you can tell which one is iodidated and which one is not iodidated. For this one, there isn't any test kit.
If I rush to Malamata after the show to want to buy red oil, how can I tell that this has got the dye in it and this one has not?
Unfortunately for you, you cannot tell. Even me as a regulator, I cannot tell until I take it to the laboratory. So that is a dicey issue, and that makes it very scary and more difficult.
So what's the advice? Should we continue to buy or we wait till?
For now, you know, the good thing about palm oil is that you can always get a substitute. The cooking oil, what we call the cooking oil.
But this is Ghana, you know, we and our tastes.
You know?
I mean, what you do contour Ghana next year. You want the red oil.
You can use your cooking oil. Just add a little bit of tinned tomatoes, you know, and that'll be fine.
The Ghana Health Service has also issued a public health safety alert of the consumption of palm oil in Ghana. This follows the arrest of some palm oil traders by the Food and Drugs Authority after it emerged they were using Sudan 4, an industrial dye in the preparation of palm oil to enhance its color. Deputy Chief Nutritionist at the Ghana Health Service, Kate Kwashi, says it is best if the public stays away from palm oil until further tests are conducted.
Sudan red dye is not something that will immediately, once you take it today, it will immediately lead to cancer. It's the continued consumption, the dye, that may lead to cancer. And so today you might not see it, but then later, in future, and some time to come, it might lead to, you know, cancer in the body. And you know, cancer is very difficult. It's the causes are not exactly known, but then the foods, some of the substances that contribute or that cause cancer are known, and those are the things that we should guard against. Sudan red dye is one of such substances. There are others.
What must the public be doing now? You can't even tell which market is safe to get palm oil.
That is a very difficult question, because palm oil is something that is it's a healthy food. It contains a lot of vitamin A, is one of the things that are promoted. However, if it is being contaminated, adulterated with this dye, then one has to be very careful. Unfortunately, as I said earlier, most of the palm oil is produced by small-scale producers who are very difficult to regulate. I know the Food and Drugs Agency is doing a lot to regulate such, to find out where it is coming from. But it's extremely difficult, and perhaps what we need to do is to educate the producers.
You're watching Joy News Prime. We're taking a break. When we come back, we have more stories coming your way. Please stay tuned. Watching Joy News Prime. Now, pressure group Let My Vote Count Alliance is challenging the composition of the committee constituted by the Electoral Commission to conduct public hearings on demands for a new voters register. Convener of the group, David Asante, joins me in the studio with more on their contention. Good evening to you, David, and thanks for having you once again in the studio. Now, what's your issue with the composition of this committee?
Thank you very much, Israel. Let me say good evening to our viewers, and thanks for the opportunity. Really, we are more confused, and we get more confused by the day with every single step the Electoral Commission takes regarding this particular sensitive matter.
What's your confusion with this latest step?
Justice V.C. A.R.C. Crab, former EC of Ghana, a prominent citizen, an accomplished Ghanaian citizen, on the 21st of August, is reported on ctfmonline.com as having said, I disagree with the MPP on their call for a new voters register. I do not think Ghana needs a new voters register. Secondly, Dr. Ni Nakukwenu was the NDC's rep on a committee set up by STL. Public knowledge, an internet expert, an IT expert, very, very accomplished individual in his chosen career. However, his political identity has never been in doubt. Then the EC put these prominent citizens together on an independent panel, as the EC calls it, then comes back to tell us these individuals who have openly made comments and taken stance on this matter, they are put together on a panel, and the EC says this is an independent panel. A known NDC person sitting on the panel who represented the party on STL IT level, and the EC is telling us these are independent-minded Ghanaians going to decide on whether or not we need a new voters register.
Is that the mandate of this committee?
Of course, the committee, as part of their mandate, are supposed to further on present a recommendation to the Electoral Commission. That is their mandate. As part of their mandate, they aren't only going to sit there as independent panel or moderators to foresee the smooth running of the show on that day. It's part of their mandate and responsibility to recommend to the commission what really the way forward is. And these are individuals whose position on the matter gives them up as compromised individuals.
Okay, you could talk about Justice V.C. A.R.C. Crab, who you says his position is already known.
That's right.
Going into this committee, his position may be known, but Dr. Nina Kukwenu's position may not be known. The fact that he's NDC doesn't mean that he stated is his position on it.
Well, you see, Israel, what makes the committee...
And again, may I just add there are 3 other members.
That's right. Well, I have heard Most Reverend Professor Emmanuel Asante, the chairman of the Peace Council, I have heard him quite a few times made brilliant submission, very neutral, on behalf of the Peace Council. He talks about the need to look critically at the issues raised by the societies that are calling for register.
So then again, you see, then again, somebody, he says he's looking at the issue being looked at critically.
That's right.
Somebody else on the other side may say, okay, that suggests that his position is known.
Israel, what baffles us most is the 5-member committee has only one internet or technical person on the committee, and that same person represented the NDC. There is a tendency and the natural likelihood issues that borders on internet and IT on the committee will be deferred to Dr. Nina Akukwenu, who is an NDC card-bearing member. Very open issue.
You see, at this rate, who is going to be put on the panel? Because anybody you put on the panel, somebody can raise an objection based on where they stand.
No, absolutely not. Why have we not raised objection about Dr. Bediakon, the former government statistician? Why have you not raised queries about the inclusion of the Amir of the Ahmadiyya Muslim Mission? These are religious men who have never been heard openly on the matter.
You may not have raised objections, but I'm saying somebody else from another forum or on another side can come in and say, this other person have a problem with them.
Israel, there are issues which are basically of common knowledge. Excellency J. Kofor has spoken. Plainly, we need a register. J.J. Rollins has spoken. We need a register. These are individuals whose positions are common to the Ghanaian, who cannot sit as an independent arbiter on the matter. Stereotypical and the classical example is Professor Crabb. He says, we do not need a register. Then the EC says, come and sit on the committee to determine whether or not we do need one. It beats our mind.
I'm saying at this point or at this rate, we will end up not having anybody on the committee.
There are so many prominent Ghanaian citizens like your very good self whose position is very neutral, well known to all of us.
You may find it convenient and neutral, Israel, but somebody else may have objections.
As long as we can go and tell you, VCRC Crab said this,
what do you want to happen?
We want the committee to be dissolved. Other than that, the EC has started on a poor note, on a wrong footing. It's a bogus committee. We do not expect anything meaningful.
And if they don't dissolve the committee?
Let the political parties pull out, because the fight and the genuine and the legitimate demand they are putting across will amount to nothing. It's politically biased, highly unethical, and I can tell you this is not something.
Why are you trying to suggest to the political parties what they should be doing? I mean, they are aware, and if they want to pull out, they can pull out.
Well, the most exciting thing is that we have taken the pain to lead this whole campaign extensively, even more than some of the political parties have. The main proponent or the protagonist in this matter is the MPP. And it's sad to realize an NDC man is on the panel. And I have said a few times on your network, it will make a lot more political sense for them to feature as then we know it's purely a political composition.
Do you intend to make submissions to the committee?
We hope to do a massive press conference tomorrow to really bring to light these issues we have.
Do you intend to make a submission to the committee?
As it stands now, no. We would rather want to go there and listen to what the EC has to say, because in an attempt to present our petition, we were met with brutalities, and then the commission said we were making so much noise. So we'll go and listen to what the other Ghanaians have to say. In any case, we are calling for any register. There are a lot more groups who will be doing the same presentation. We'll give them our version, and they will speak our mind. We will listen. But as for the committee, it must be dissolved. It's a non-starter. Absolutely not good.
All right. Thank you very much, David Asante with the Let My Vote Count Alliance. In other news, the chairman of the Council of Elders of the New Patriotic Party has mounted a strong defense of the decision at the party's Council of Elders to suspend its chairman, Paul Afoko. Mr. Afoko was suspended following a petition by the two party members against his conduct as chairman. Speaking at a news conference in Accra, however, the chairman of the party's Council of Elders, C.K. Tedem, said Mr. Afoko showed gross disrespect to the leaders of the party.
Afoko's activities were such, he was not coming to the meetings, he wasn't calling meetings at the right time. They appealed. Even they petitioned. The steering committee members petitioned. I read the letter myself. Even as a member of the steering committee, I also signed it. We presented to him, and he would not turn up. We did everything possible to get him in. Then meetings, we called the executive members, we called the regional chairman to a meeting at the party headquarters. He said we should rather come to his private office at Osu. And all the members refused. We tried all possible means to get him in. So the unity was disintegrated. Every time he thought he should call a meeting, he would call it at hotels. And he has to choose his hotel, and he would bring all sorts of people, semi-military, to surround the place. We didn't feel we were a party. We were like prisoners being escorted together to be talked to by the chairman. So we all said no, we will not want it that way. So our idea by calling him was to address him as a son who will cooperate so that the party will move together and unity will be for all Ghanaians, especially for our own party. He has not been working in the interest of the party because clearly they are not supporting Nana's move. And we find that that is not going to help us.
Well, one of the men who petitioned the National Council of the NPP for action to be taken against Mr. Afoko has welcomed the decision to suspend the party chairman. Alhaji Sulemana Yeremia told Joy News Mr. Afoko left the party with no choice in the matter.
A number of issues that compelled me in particular to take up this matter to the disciplinary committee. Our constitution provides that if there is anything that disturbs you or you are not satisfied, there are channels, there are avenues, there are structures of the party you can seek redress.
That's right.
Fortunately, I have been privileged to belong to the National Council of the NPP, as well as a member of the Council of Elders. Immediately after the elections to select our national executive, there were certain things that were happening in the party which we thought initially that they were teething problems, utterances, actions. For instance, immediately Paul Afoko took office, he decided to brush away all the materials that the other officers or other chairmen had already built. An example is the administrative director. He asked him, now that he has come into office, he would want to dispense of his services and probably bring a new person. And even people who were working as laborers in the party, he decided to ask them to go away. That did not augur well. So some people like us had to call Paul Afoko to say that, hold on your fire, because if you come into an organization of this nature, you need to seek advice.
So would you say that this was perhaps over-enthusiasm on his part, or perhaps his nature didn't fit very well into the position he was elected into? What could make him come into office and take decisions which will be inimical to the party's unity?
Oh, I see. Well, he can be the best person to probably explain. But we thought that his actions were inimical to the party's progress.
In a related development, the spokesman for Paul Afoko has told Joy News that the beleaguered chairman of the opposition party will use the court, if possible, to challenge and reverse the decision to suspend him. Barima Osei insists Mr. Afoko has been treated unfairly and that he will not go away without a fight. He says Mr. Afoko still considers himself to be the chairman of the New Patriotic Party.
Those who were against Mr. Afoko's candidature have still not accepted that after Tamale Congress or conference, he became the national chairman, and that he should be given the peace of mind to work.
Does Mr. Afoko still see himself as the party chairman?
Very much so. Why would you want him not to see himself as the national chairman? You think over 4,500 delegates who elected him in Tamale didn't know what they were doing?
So what does that mean? He's still going to see out his mandate, go through, do everything he's supposed to do?
The functions of his office.
How exactly? Because clearly, per that NEC decision, that supposedly has been backed by the flag bearer Nana Akufo-Addo.
Let me tell you, if you are dealing with law, it's not about who is backing what. We have maintained that right from proceedings at the disciplinary committee to the so-called NEC meeting, everything about it was flawed. And we still stand by that. Do you think that you work for multimedia, you don't know me anywhere, and I tell you I've dismissed you, then you accept and pick your bag and everything, then you go? If I've indicated to you that whatever that transpired at the disciplinary committee up to the so-called NEC meeting were illegal, then it presupposes that nothing has happened. You see, I'm a member of the National Disciplinary Committee. When this matter came, I wrote a letter to recuse myself because of my association with Mr. Paul Afoko, right? If there are other members on the committee who are also members of the National Council of Elders, if I recuse myself for a potential conflict of interest situation, what do you think should happen to those members who are members of the National Council of Elders and at the same time members of the disciplinary committee? Of course, that was a decision for them to take. I did the honorable thing, but you even put that aside. The disciplinary committee invites the national chairman. He sends his lawyers. Now look, go and raise a preliminary legal objection to jurisdiction of the committee in entertaining the matter in the first place. Because if anybody had any issues or complaints against a national executive member, the petition or the petitioner must address his or her petition to the National Council of the party.
Now, presidential candidate of the New Patriotic Party, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, has urged party members to respect the decision by the National Executive Committee NEC to suspend party chairman Paul Afoko. Now, his statement is available on my Joy Online. Respect decision to suspend Afoko, Akufo-Addo urges, and if you come straight down, you see the statement of the party leader. It says, "I profoundly regret that matters have come to this. Such a development has been rather rare in the history of our party. I had hoped that internal discussions and a spirit of cooperation would have enabled the party to avoid such an eventuality. However, the appropriate organs of the party have acted. I'm therefore calling on all loyal members of the party to respect the decision of NEC and the constitution of the party, which provides channels for redressing grievances. We need to conduct ourselves in a disciplined manner that will protect and promote the integrity and unity of the party. The NPP requires a united and committed front for the task ahead. We need to stay focused and organize ourselves to prosecute a successful campaign in 2016 to relieve the Ghanaian people from their sufferings and hardships. Ghanaians are looking up to us." And it's signed, "God bless Mother Ghana," signed Nana Akufo-Addo NPP presidential candidate. You're watching Joy News Prime. We're taking a break. When we come back, we bring you business news with Abigail Adumankwenchi. Please stay tuned. Right, so time now for business, and Abigail Adumankwenchi is here. Good evening to you.
Good evening,
Abigail. So we've been talking the entire bulletin from the beginning of the bulletin about this palm oil, Sudan 4 dye being used in palm oil.
Yeah.
Apparently, you'll be worried that it would affect sales.
Definitely.
And the Ghana Health Service is saying, please stay away from it.
Yeah.
And yet
sales is actually booming. It's interesting.
Is it we can't do without our palm oil?
Yes, we can't do without it. I mean, myself, I'm wondering how I can stay away from palm oil in the next, I don't know, for how long.
Is it because you love your beans so much?
Of course.
The zomi?
Exactly.
Probably the zomi is the one. It's a worrying
issue, actually. It's very worrying. And
could it be that it's the zomi that makes the Sudan 4 thing?
That would be very devastating, because that's what I like, actually. All right, let me get you the details now. The Food and Drugs Authority has confiscated large quantities of adulterated palm oil from 10 major markets in Accra and Tema. The palm oil, according to the FDA, contains Sudan-4 dye, a cancer-causing agent. Well, some palm oil traders, Joy Business sampled, however, are not worried about the reports of the cancer-causing agent in palm oil, adding that sales have not been affected.
I
heard that palm oil is usually mixed with red dye, but I don't believe it. Plus, it hasn't affected patronage at all.
I don't prepare the oil myself. I buy it from source. I can't confirm or deny the rumors because I don't know.
Sana etie ba ne omukasa omufra ne adeade ne die say bia no de beba na wafra de ade to me there I don't know by me there ye ma hanum say na mo de ban say na ye de ahedwa no ti ye mu say fa bibia engu mu bi beginning de amafo bebebe to no mo ka say ye suro na say mo so mo de bibia gum nti now beto no mo kan mo company no mo say mo suro bet yes so encourage mo say enya sanity because me sukura we no me dibi nti say me di na be ha me a say so beto be ha nti yeah omoka mo.
We haven't seen any change in patronage.
First say na eti no say antisamo by one dey omoto because no no mo dey bibia anti oh sense some e ko so dey bisa me ngono anu ani medi
I don't believe the palm oil contains any dye. I consume it myself. People still buy despite negative reports.
Watching Joy News Prime. Now on to the rest of our stories. Joy News has learned that the first power plant to produce 225 megawatts of electricity to deal with the ongoing power cuts is expected to set sail to Ghana Tuesday, October 26, after a brief commissioning ceremony, or Tuesday, October 27 actually, after a brief commissioning ceremony. According to the initial agreement, the barge was scheduled to set sail Monday, October 26, but had to be rescheduled to Tuesday.
Government officials and selected media practitioners are in Turkey for the official commissioning ceremony before the barge sets sail. When the vessel finally docks in Ghana, another vessel is also expected to dock close to the power barge to supply it with fuel. This vessel will fuel the barge until such a time a fuel pump is connected for the barge. A source close to the power ministry said Car Power Ship, the company that built the barge, has testified it and everything is functioning efficiently. Under normal circumstances, the journey from Turkey to Ghana should take 21 days. That is 3 weeks. However, considering the urgency of the situation, a fast boat called a semi-submersible vessel has been contracted to pull the barge for it to arrive in Ghana in 2 weeks. Government has also instructed Car Power Ship to increase the capacity of the second barge from the initial 225 megawatts to 400 megawatts. This means government has increased the power expected from the two barges by an additional 175 megawatts, from the initial 450 megawatts to 625 megawatts. Groundworks at the location where the power barge should dock in Tania is expected to be completed by the end of this month. The second batch to produce 400 megawatts is expected to be delivered by the end of the first quarter of 2016. The power barges were originally scheduled to dock at Tema Port in the first quarter of this year. This was rescheduled to September 2015, but government failed to meet the first two timelines for the arrival of the barges.
Right, we move on to our story, the rest of our stories now. A 5-year-old girl in Accra is in dire need of a surgical operation to correct a defect to her spine. Doctors say Barima Osei is suffering from juvenile scoliosis. This means her spine is continuously bending her body to one side as she advances in age. Doctors say if the defect is not corrected soon, Jemima could lose her life. MFA Etiama Eli spent some time with Jemima in school.
She comes across as a very lively child, but Jemima is living with a life-threatening condition. The 5-year-old girl still struggles to speak, one of the first indications that all is not well.
Girl, everybody clap for Jemima. Yeah. Yes. Good, 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 good. Now Jemima is going to help us to recite a lion. Everybody go. A lion. A lion has a tail. It has a big head and a very small waist. And a very small waist. And a very small waist. And a very small waist.
Her body is curved to the left-hand side because her spine keeps shifting to the left. Doctors call this condition idiopathic scoliosis. She can only walk for very short distances. Her father has to carry her most of the time. Jemima first started showing symptoms when she was only 1 year old. Despite the difficulty, she goes to school, and her class teacher, Mercy Winnie Odamte, says Jemima is very intelligent.
The word neck. Point to the word for me, neck. Where did you march to? Point to the word neck. Now, go to the board and point to the word neck for me. Neck. Let's clap for her. Okay, that's neck.
At times, if she's not feeling well, she'll lie down on the table, and you see that things are not going well with her. She'll be quiet the whole day, but if she's active in class, nothing can stop her. She just behaves like a cat.
Emmanuel Kote is Jemima's father. He says his daughter's condition makes him break down in tears anytime he sees her.
As a parent, sometimes when I look at her, I feel down. But I really go through emotional challenges. There are times I even cry. I cry. Sometimes I have to encourage my, though a man, as the progress goes, bearman soon. Let's say go bearman soon, but sometimes because of her condition, I shed tears. So that is my first daughter and a child going through this. It's not an easy thing.
Jemima's spine can be straightened out. However, orthopedic experts peg the cost of the surgery at 94,000 Ghana cedis. Mr. Kote is a teacher and needs help to see her daughter through surgery.
Yeah, I'm appealing to the entire public to come to our aid to help us to have the surgery done for Jemima so that she can continue with her life, she can continue with her education, and be a responsible citizen in the near future.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Once I caught a fish I let. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I let it go away. Why did you let it go? Because it bit my fingers. Which finger did it?
Right, so Miss G is here, and I told you she's looking all lovely in here. very wonderful blue outfit.
Oh, you're making me feel extremely special. Thank you.
No, but it is. It's a lovely outfit.
Thank you.
And I like the color. All right, let's get on to entertainment.
Okay, yes. You know the group Prior, we've been talking about them a while now, but the amazing thing that took place over the weekend was that we saw Prior, Tietia, and Prior Tintin. Tietia is now called Big J Cartel, and Tintin is called Kente now. And we saw two of them on a platform performing together. Exactly. And so we're wondering, what's the issue? Are you guys back together? Where's the other person?
Where's
we know
Honeyho.
Well, they didn't have much to say, but Honeyho said like he wasn't called at all. He didn't know anything about this performance. But what I was told by the other party was that they invited him, but he refused to join them.
And were they performing a Prior song?
Exactly, Angelina.
Oh no.
And you know the amazing thing is that they sang his portion as well, his verse or his lines, and I'm like, okay, are you going to give him part of the money you're earning from this show? But let's take a listen.
All right.
First, we see what happens on stage, and then we hear Honey.
So we'll see the performance.
Exactly.
All right, sure.
Exactly. Over it.
My management yesterday on one of the radio stations, but after talking to someone, you know, concerning the show, no, I haven't talked to anybody like that. They asked about whether I'm going to be part of my guys. I mean, it's cool. The only problem is, you know, I have a contract with my current management, and I leave everything for that management to deal with. You understand? That's all I remember. I don't remember speaking to any event organizer or speaking to my brothers. No, not.
Okay, so that's what he's had to say about it. But you're saying that you have spoken to people who say that they've actually invited.
Yes, I actually got to hear from people close to Big J, and the person told me the fact that they were actually invited to come and perform and were paid to perform as Prior. So they thought it wise that they get in touch with Eugene, and Eugene, who is Honeyho, said he's under a new management, and if they want him to come perform,
you have to speak to the manager.
Exactly, and now he's a brand ambassador, and so for a certain brand, and so they need to speak to that organization as well for them to
they're making
understand.
it sound so complicated, even though
very complicated, very complicated.
All right, Men on Point.
Yes, Men on Point. You know.
Right, it's time for sports, and Kwame Jumang has joined me. Good evening to you, Kwame.
Good evening, Easy.
All right, so there's this whole thing about Heart of Oak getting... getting... they couldn't get the Mediama. They were going for the former Mediama.
The Mediama coach.
Okay, and they didn't get him?
Yes.
And they had to go to Japan.
They went to the U.S. to get Kenichi Yasuhachi.
A Japanese.
His parents are Japanese. He was born, brought up, bred, everything in the United States. So he holds a U.S. passport.
What's his name again?
Kenichi Yasuhachi.
Okay, I have a difficulty pronouncing that name, and I'm sure the Hearts of Oak players and supporters are going to have a difficulty. I didn't want to go there. See, I can imagine. I won't be surprised if they start calling him Kaneshi.
Well, even in the States where he has worked since 1988, he's only referred to as Kenny, which makes it easier for everyone to call him. So
we'll call him Kaneshi.
Well, we'll see how that goes. We'll stay with the Hearts of Oak, and there's been a lot of talk as to whether Kenichi Yasuhachi is the right man for the Hearts of Oak job. We caught up with some football fanatics on what they think of this imminent appointment.
It can help them to solve their problem this year. I think he's a coach.
But this one then for Fasakam. I can't go for a Japanese coach. You know, the last time I read about him, I learned he was an assistant coach to their female junior team or something, and a coach with no track record come to coach a team like House of Hope, who is battling with the relegation or like to build up their team. I believe he's not competent enough to coach a team like Hearts of Oak.
They have to take, like, let me say, either American, because Japan, their work is to fight, taekwondo, and so on. So the local coach, I think the local coach can help the team more than the new coach, which is from Japan. So he can't help the team, because me, I don't support him. If I don't support him, he cannot work.
That's it for the bulletin. Before we go, a quick run through our top stories. The Ghana Health Service is warning the public to avoid the consumption of palm oil over concerns about widespread adulteration of the edible oil with Sudan 4 industrial dye. Chairman of the New Patriotic Party Council of Elders has justified the decision to suspend the party chairman Paul Afoko, explaining he showed gross disrespect to them, but the beleaguered party chair is vowing to fight the decision. And the much anticipated Barima is expected to help address the energy crisis to leave Turkey en route to Ghana tomorrow. That's it for the bulletin. My name is Israel. Thank you very much for watching. On behalf of the team, I wish you a good night.